Hello, YouTube subscribers. This is Woodrow Lucas. Today, we're going to be talking about what's called the R.A.V.E.N Technique. This is a neurospiritual technique of empowerment and liberation. When I say neurospiritual, what I'm talking about is something that uses your cognitive resources and that also utilizes your metaphysical spiritual resources to blend the two into impact. Now, the word R.A.V.E.N is an acronym. The word R.A.V.E.N stands for R, rhythmic. That's because this technique utilizes repetition of thought in your mind. So it's rhythmic. Awareness, because as you repeat thoughts in your mind, you increase your awareness of certain realities and you decrease your awareness of certain deceptions. V in R.A.V.E.N stands for victory, and that is the victory of Jesus Christ on the cross. That's going to be very important as we go further. The victory of Jesus Christ on the cross. That's what the V in R.A.V.E.N stands for. The E in R.A.V.E.N stands for enforcing, because when you are repeating the phrases in your thoughts with the R.A.V.E.N technique, you are actually enforcing the cross, the victory of the cross, on both your consciousness and reality. And then the N of the R.A.V.E.N technique is neurospirituality or neurospiritual, which is simply a description of what kind of technique the R.A.V.E.N technique is. Now, the way the R.A.V.E.N technique works is that you start with the pronoun we. And the pronoun we stands for you and Jesus Christ. So whatever you're doing with the R.A.V.E.N technique, you're never doing it by yourself. You're always doing it with Jesus Christ, your higher power. Then the phrase is worded in a certain way so as to uphold free will. So your phrase is, we forgive every person everywhere for lying. That is, say, one of the phrases that you would use the R.A.V.E.N technique to say in your thoughts over and over again. We forgive every person everywhere for lying. Now, the forgiveness comes in because forgiveness is the most powerful force in reality. It enables someone to change from one state of righteousness to another state of righteousness. And when Jesus Christ used forgiveness, he uses to heal the sick, in addition to liberating people from their guilt before the Mosaic religion. So we forgive every person everywhere. Now, when you use the R.A.V.E.N technique, you can use it on different sets of people or things or anything you want, really. So what I'm doing in this phrase, we forgive every person everywhere, that's the subset of object that I'm deciding to use the R.A.V.E.N technique on. And of course, I would be within that subset. So we forgive every person everywhere for lying. And of course, lying is not just something you would do to somebody else, but something to do to yourself. So what this phrase really does is it decreases the amount of deception, self-deception, and deception in general in each of us and in our environments as well. Because we radiate frequencies of who we are into our environment. So if we're lying, or if we're lying contagiously or addictively, then we're going to create an atmosphere of deception around us. So by forgiving every person everywhere of lying, we're decreasing the amount of deception everywhere. Now let's put this into the framework or the rubric of the R.A.V.E.N technique. The cross says that everything is okay. No one's lying, because when Jesus Christ died on the cross, he said, "It is finished," meaning that it is done. We are free. We are no longer slaves to sin. The world is no longer evil. And the sun bared witness to the fact that Jesus Christ got that victory by not shining. Now, in Newtonian physics, the sun not shining would destroy the whole solar system. But in quantum mechanics, where all matter is really a reality of probability and perception, the sun not shining did not cause the solar system to implode on himself. Now, Jesus saying it is finished and the sun not shining it didn't prove, but it suggested that everything was different. But you see, we have a sower of deception in reality. The devil, the liar, and the father of lies. And so when Jesus got the victory, the deceiver blinded our consciousness to the fact that Jesus is Lord and that things are good. So going back to the phrase, we forgive every person everywhere of deception, or we forgive every person everywhere of lying, what we're doing with that phrase is we're enforcing what already is on our consciousness and on our awareness. And we're enforcing what already is on the consciousness and awareness of all things on our planet and in our galaxy and our solar system and in the creation, every person everywhere. So the victory of Jesus Christ is always preeminent in the R.A.V.E.N technique, because all the changes that you're making are merely making things more like they really already are, if we all were aware enough and had faith sufficient to see the beauty of God in all things. Now, another example of the R.A.V.E.N technique would be, we forgive Donald Trump for manipulation. We could say a phrase like that. That's forgiving an individual person for an individual discretion. Again, in reality, Donald Trump's already a beautiful, amazing, great guy. We're just enforcing the truth on the deceptions that keep him in a state of not knowing who he really is. So we are forgiving Donald Trump for manipulation. And the way it works in your mind when you're doing these phrases is, we forgive Donald Trump for manipulation. 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 Or we forgive every person everywhere for lying. We forgive every person everywhere for lying. And you can forgive any subset of people And you can define a subset. For instance, I can say the U.S. government stands for prayer style purposes, all the senators and Congress people and the U.S. Congress, all the Supreme Court justices, and the President of the United States. And then when I use the prayer style phrase, when I use the R.A.V.E.N technique, I would say, we forgive the U.S. government, and that U.S. government stands for who I just defined that subset as. Now, this is getting a little complex, so there's a PDF that explains this in detail on my company website, Empowered Recovery Consulting, that is a free download, so it doesn't cost you any money. You can download this free PDF, and it will explain the R.A.V.E.N technique in more detail. But for now, just follow along and use it as simply or as complicated as you feel comfortable. Now, there's a manual version of the R.A.V.E.N technique, which I've just explained to you. But there's also an automatic version of the R.A.V.E.N technique, which is much more powerful, but a little less precise and gives you a little less focus and control in what you're doing. The way that this automatic style works is that you are programming words and phrases with forgiveness phrases. So in what I just described to you, you're only forgiving one phrase or two phrases or three phrases. But with the automatic technique, you can program a word with 1,000 phrases. I'll give you an example. The word victory, okay? You can say the word victory means we forgive every citizen of the United States of America for greed. We forgive Russia for violence. We forgive every citizen of Russia for violence. We forgive every inhabitant of the earth for emulation. We forgive every inhabitant of the earth for racism. We forgive every inhabitant of the earth for cruelty. See, that was like 7 phrases that I programmed into the word victory. So I would say, in the name of Jesus Christ, for prayer style purposes, the word victory means such and such and such and such. And then once I've defined what the word victory means, all I have to do is say victory. There's no more we forgive so-and-so for so-and-so. Now I'm just saying the word victory, and that's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is the word victory. So we would say victory, 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 in your mind over and over and over again. Again, if this is getting heavy for you, there's a PDF that explains this in explicit detail on Empowered Recovery Consulting's website. But this video will give you an introduction to the R.A.V.E.N technique so that you can practice and then reinforce your understanding by watching it a few more times and then reading the PDF. All right, now I want to introduce my parents who are here visiting. One of them has used the R.A.V.E.N technique before. That's my mother. and I will leave them anonymous by name. Although if you're very cunning, you can figure out their names. But these are my parents, and they're wonderful people, and they're here visiting me, and they've been a big part of the R.A.V.E.N Technique, and a big part of the development of the R.A.V.E.N Technique, and a big part of the concepts that I used to define the acronym R.A.V.E.N. So here they are. That's my father. He's a very, very wise man. And that's my mother. Wonderful activist. My mother is Mother Jones. She's a black Mother Jones. So these are my parents, and they are here visiting, and we are all relaxing, and I'm explaining to you the R.A.V.E.N Technique. The R.A.V.E.N Technique is a technique for your benefit and the Earth's benefit, and really all creation's benefit. If you use it for selfish ends, you're going to get no purpose out of it, you're going to get no meaning out of it, and you're going to feel confused. But if you use it to help the Earth, if you use it to help the downtrodden, and if you use it to improve yourself and rid yourself of these deceptions that you are evil, these deceptions that you are selfish, etc., to increase your awareness that you are wonderfully and beautifully made. If you use it in that way, it will augment the meaning, the purpose, and the bliss of your life considerably. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. Thank you so much for being a part of the YouTube experience that I offer. This is Woodrow Lucas, Captain Kirk, signing off. Have a great day.